Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
Trick or Treat.
Let's get our spook on.
A couple walks down the street on Halloween in their costumes. When they come to their house, the girl, Emma, puts out the jack-o'-lantern as a creature seems to be watching them. Emma asks her boyfriend to take all of the decorations down, but ends up doing it by herself.
Shitty man. He literally just went upstairs to go watch porn.
But he also told her, don't blow out the jack-o'-lantern.
It's true.
So
he did. He warned her.
Her boyfriend goes upstairs as she unplugs the lights and begins to take down the ghosts.
While taking one ghost down, the small creature that was watching her pops out, covering her in the cloth and slitting her throat with a lollipop. The creature appears to be a small child with a burlap sack head, dressed in an orange onesie, named Sam. Emma's boyfriend wakes up to discover that she isn't in bed and goes to check on her. When he goes to the front yard, he finds her body cut up and hung on one of the ghost posts.
Earlier, since it is Halloween night, there's a party going on in the street of Warren Valley, Ohio. In one of the costume shops, 4 girls are trying on outfits, planning to find dates for a party later. One of the girls, Lori, dresses as Little Red Riding Hood, is embarrassed about her costume, but they check out anyway and try to find dates. 3 of the girls are able to find dates while Lori is still struggling. The girls then tease Lori about still being a virgin and encouraging her to find someone.
On the same street the couple from earlier lives on, a boy named Charlie is smashing pumpkins and trick-or-treating when he comes across his principal's house, Mr. Wilkins. The principal gives Charlie another piece of candy, and even though he caught Charlie trying to steal all of the candy he had left out. As Charlie eats the candy Wilkins gave him, Wilkins tells Charlie about how most Halloween traditions were started to protect people, but now no one cares.
During his speech, Charlie begins to gag, to which Wilkins tells him that another tradition is to always check your candy before you eat it. Charlie then begins to vomit, and Charlie then falls into his lap, and Wilkins carries him inside. As 3 kids trick-or-treating knock on the door for candy and ask for a jack-o'-lantern. Back at the street party with the girls from the costume shop, 3 of the girls leave Lori to find a date for the night.
Back at Wilkins' house, he begins to bury Charlie's body when his son starts yelling at him from the top floor window. He keeps coming to the window to ask questions, disrupting his burying process and causing the neighbor's dog, Spite, to start barking. Wilkins' neighbor, Mr. Krieg, comes outside, but when Wilkins tries to be extra quiet, one of the bodies begins to move and scream. Wilkins finally gets the body quiet, but Krieg discovers Wilkins outside. He blames the septic tank on the smell and why he's digging holes in the backyard, which causes Krieg to go back inside.
Wilkins' son sticks his head back out the window and asks to carve a pumpkin. When Wilkins is finally done burying the bodies, he sees Krieg next door, begging him for help through the window. Wilkins and his son go down to the basement to carve a pumpkin, but it is revealed that the pumpkin is actually Charlie's head.
That's crazy.
Fucked up and wild. That is the wildest twist in this whole film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For real.
The 3 kids that were at Wilkins' house show up to other houses asking for more jack-o'-lanterns. They then meet up with another kid named Schrader, who had also been collecting jack-o'-lanterns. They then go to a girl's house named Rhonda, whose front yard is covered in pumpkins that she had carved. Rhonda joins the group as they go off together with more pumpkins from her yard.
Back at the street party, a couple is making out in a back alley when the man who is masked and wearing fangs bites her. The girl freaks out and runs to the street begging for help. She runs into the couple from the beginning of the movie, but they think she's just drunk and walks away. The man with the mask finds the woman again and kills her, leaving her dead in the street.
That's crazy that nobody cared.
Facts. It's because it's a party and it's Halloween, so they all
thought
think
it
it's
was
a fucking
costume.
prank. Yeah.
The group of kids walk to a rock quarry where one of the girls, Macy, explains why they are there. She then tells a story from 30 years ago on Halloween. There was a bus with 8 troubled kids who were on their way to school in their costumes. The parents of the kids had a different idea, however, and paid the bus driver to take the kids to the rock quarry to get rid of them.
The bus driver was going to send the bus over the cliff, and while checking their chains, one of the kids escaped and sent the bus over the edge before the bus driver could get off. The bus fell into the quarry, and the bus driver survived, but was never seen again. Macy then explains that they brought 8 jack-o'-lanterns as an offering to the 8 victims who died. The kids gather the pumpkins and take turns going down the elevator to the quarry.
Back at the street party, Lori is still having trouble finding a date when her sister calls and says she found a guy for her already at the party. Back at the rock quarry, Rhonda and one other boy are the last to go down the elevator, but as they go down, they both hear screaming coming from the other 3 kids. Rhonda leaves the elevator to go investigate, but when she reaches the water, she finds the bus and gets grabbed by the foot.
Rhonda gets chased by what seems to be the kids that died in the accident. She loses her glasses, falls to the floor, and hits her head on some rocks. The things that were chasing her turned out to be the kids she came with, pulling a prank on her. When Schrader decides that the joke is over, he looks after Rhonda, while the other kids decide to leave. Before they go, they discover a jack-o'-lantern that's still lit and kick it into the water. They then begin to hear voices.
Macy and the others run back to Rhonda and Schrader, telling them that there are other people in the quarry. The kids from the legend then actually begin to chase them until Rhonda gets into the elevator and leaves the other 4 to be torn apart. As she gets to the top, we hear the screams of her pranksters and see the little creature that killed Emma standing in front of her. Rhonda takes her remaining pumpkins and walks away. Badass move.
Hell yeah. Sam won't fuck around if you doing what you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Lori is walking towards her friends at the party, now in the woods, but is clearly being followed. The man with the fangs from earlier then jumps out and bites her. At the party, something in a red cape falls from the trees. And when the girls go to see what it is, the man who bit Lori is laying on the ground begging for help.
All of a sudden, Lori walks in and everyone is unfazed. One of the girls goes up to the man on the ground and unmasks him, revealing him to be Mr. Wilkins. As he looks around in fear, there are dead bodies of men all over the ground. Lori comes back and straddles Mr. Wilkins as all of the girls watch and start stripping. Lori tells Mr. Wilkins that it's her first time, and then all of the women at the party, including Lori, begin to transform into werewolves. When they all transition into their wolf forms and start tearing into the flesh of their victims, Sam is sitting on a tree stump, watching.
This is badass. Bad bitches, man.
Yeah.
Back at Mr. Krieg's house, he is scaring away trick-or-treaters with his dog. When he goes back inside, he begins to burn old photographs in the fireplace and watches TV. While flipping through the channels, Spite starts barking at the back door. When Mr. Krieg goes to check outside, it seems like a kid threw something at his window and runs around the house laughing. Spoiler warning. Skip ahead.
Spite has gone outside, and when Mr. Krieg goes to check on him out back, we see the same scene of Mr. Wilkins burying his bodies, but this time from Krieg's perspective. When Mr. Krieg finally goes back inside, he locks the back door. Spite then begins to bark at the front door, and when Krieg opens it, there are many jack-o'-lanterns sitting in front of his yard that weren't there before. Spite barks again, and laughing can be heard from upstairs. Mr. Krieg takes his gun and goes to investigate.
When Krieg enters his bedroom, a jack-o'-lantern bursts into flame, revealing writing in blood covering the walls and ceiling. All of a sudden, something from under the bed cuts Krieg's leg, and then Sam pops out holding a candy bar with a razor blade in it. Sam begins to chase Krieg around the house. The floor is covered in candy and glass as Krieg falls down the stairs, slicing his hands open. Krieg tries to open the many locks on his door when we see Sam crawling on the ceiling behind him, dropping down to attack again.
Krieg goes to the window to find Wilkins going back inside after finishing burying his victims and begs for his help. Mr. Wilkins obviously ignores Krieg and is attacked by Sam again. Krieg manages to rip off Sam's burlap sack, revealing a giant skull head. Krieg then shoots Sam with the shotgun many times, and pumpkin guts fly everywhere. Thinking he's dead, Krieg goes to call 911. But Sam cuts the line and rises again, reattaching his limbs that had been blown off by the gun.
As Sam approaches Krieg, he falls back and a candy bar lands in his lap. And before Sam kills him, Sam sees the candy bar and accepts it and leaves. Back at Krieg's fireplace, we get a better look at the photos that he tried to burn and discover that Krieg is the bus driver that killed the troubled kids at the quarry. More trick-or-treaters come to Krieg's door, and Mr. Krieg is all bandaged up now. As he steps outside further, we see the couple from the beginning of the movie being watched by Sam as they get home, and Emma starts to take down decorations.
Mr. Krieg goes back inside to hear another knock at the door, and when he opens it, he finds all of the kids from the quarry murders standing on his front porch in their Halloween costumes and decomposing bodies.
The end. Alrighty. So, this film was released December 9th, 2007.
Yeah.
The director is Michael
Dougherty.
Dougherty?
Yeah. I have a friend whose last name is that. So,
You would have never thought that said Dougherty.
No, it's Dougherty. Yeah.
Because it does not look like it's spelled.
It looks like Dougherty.
Dougherty, yeah.
Yeah, it's Dougherty.
Fascinating.
Or Dougherty, whichever you want to say.
Michael Dougherty.
Mm-hmm. We got lots of characters, because obviously there's lots of stories happening.
Yeah.
But we have Quinn Lord
Mm-hmm.
as Sam. And also Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom. Yeah.
Peeping Tom because he's the little boy in the beginning when the girls are in the costume shop.
Yes.
Or changing, and he's like looking through the...
Yeah.
Which I didn't add in the summary, but
yeah.
There you go. We have Anna Paquin as Laurie.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Baker as Stephen Wilkins.
Brian Cox as Mr. Krieg. Sam Todd as Rhonda. Leslie Bibb as Emma.
And I don't know why I included this, but I also have Jean-Luc Bilodeau as Schrader.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
They had a $12 million budget.
Mm-hmm. There was no box office thing, because I don't know if this actually went to the box office. When I saw box office stuff, it said like $20,000. So maybe it was like a small little film, like theater, somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has an 82 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm a little...
Well, you're shocked because you don't. It doesn't resonate with you.
I'm not,
and that's fine. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
It's cute.
It's cute, and it could easily be like on a list of cozy random films.
Yeah. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this movie.
No, it's not like if I had a choice and it was like you had a choice between this handful of films, I'm not going to pick this one first.
Right.
But if it was like on a TV channel and it was like, here's our lineup for the night, and it was in the lineup, like I wouldn't turn it off, necessarily speaking.
Yeah. It is a Warner Brothers production.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's lots of lore on this little guy.
Yes.
He's got powers and abilities and rules and where he comes from, and
he has 4 rules of Halloween, which are always wear a costume, always hand out candy, never blow out a jack-o'-lantern before midnight, and respect the dead. All he wants is to keep the spirit of Halloween alive, and for him, that means punishing those who forget the traditions that kept Halloween going.
Mm-hmm.
So, simple rules. Don't require a lot, but, you know.
Yup. Apparently, Sam, short for Sam Hain.
Sam Hain.
Yep. Sam Hain, sorry.
For Halloween Day.
Was created by the director from a short film originally he did in 1996. And, like, it was like a short little animated film. And it had Rhonda and Laurie in it.
Ah, yeah.
So they've come to life now in this movie.
Yeah.
He has so many powers and abilities.
Well, yeah.
Like a lot.
He's literally like the fucking spirit of Halloween.
Yeah. It says he has immortality, obviously. Regeneration.
Yep.
Obviously. Because when he gets shot,
His
He
hand
just-
crawls back to himself.
Yep. We obviously see the wall climbing and scaling.
Yep.
When he drops down on Krieg. Necromancy when he brings the kids from the quarry back. There's teleportation, which I think is apparent because he's in so many different places
Yes.
throughout the night. How else do you get revenge on people who fuck with Halloween if
Yeah.
you can't move around really fast?
Yeah.
He has telekinesis, which
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just
Yeah.
supernatural strength.
Yeah.
For a small child,
Yup.
you killed that. Something called supernatural aura, which
Ooh.
means he can cause supernatural events
Oh,
just by with
Being
his
there.
presence. Yeah.
gotcha.
Shape shifting, which I would not have guessed that. He
Hmm.
just kind of stays the same the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah,
Possession.
not surprised.
Yeah, he can possess people and control them. Clairvoyance.
Because clearly he's got to figure out when people are doing stuff that's not,
Yeah, and pyrokinesis, like when he lit the pumpkin on fire
Yeah.
in Krieg's room. So lots and lots and lots of abilities.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with this guy,
Hell no.
personally.
Hell no.
He comes from an ancient Celtic festival, Samhain.
Yep.
So obviously Halloween is more like, it's more than just, oh my god, devil birthday. Like,
yeah,
obviously,
Halloween has become more manufactured. Samhain was originally Halloween.
yeah, it's a Celtic festival.
Yeah.
And apparently it was marked as the day that is the easiest to communicate with the dead because it has something to do with like the solstices and like when that barrier
And the veil
is down.
being the thinnest. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, so way to celebrate harvest before winter came.
Mm-hmm.
I love this part. It says the Celts believed that fairies or other spirits might cross over and whisk people away at
Yep.
this time of year.
The Fae.
So they often dressed up in beastly costumes to avoid their own kidnapping.
Yep.
So that was pretty
They wore
interesting.
costumes to actually protect themselves.
Yeah, but so the earliest stories of Sam are like from the 1600s Ireland. So basically there was this story about this witch who was sentenced to die, and this soldier like had to go question her or see what her intentions were or motives.
Yeah.
See if she actually was a witch. They fall in love. They try to escape, but they don't, and they both end up getting burned at the stake.
Oof.
But before they burn, the witch sees Sam in the distance, and to her that meant she would be fine, like her soul would be okay.
Yeah.
So while he at the same time, punishes people for not following the Halloween rules, he's also helpful to people who have followed rules,
Yep.
need it, like, and that's especially seen when like Rhonda's walking out of
Yeah.
the whole quarry situation, and
Yeah.
he's like standing in front of her, like being like, you did good, you took care of pumpkins and
Yeah.
respected.
And technically it's also why he doesn't kill the werewolf women,
Yeah.
because they kill the man who essentially tricked the kid into eating
Yes.
bad candy.
Yeah.
So,
So
because I would say that
it's-
falls under his
Mhm.
hand out candy, but he handed out like bad candy. So
Yup.
yeah. So obviously this is like an amalgamation of 5 different stories that happen on Halloween night.
5?
Yeah, 5 different storylines.
I thought it was 4.
5,
What's the
all
fifth
with their
one?
own characters.
Oh, just kidding. I know which one I'm missing.
Yeah. There's 5 storylines, own characters, they're interwoven, and basically you keep seeing other characters in the background or in other interactions with each other. So it's not super walled in like separate episodes, but it definitely like you weave in and out and you'll see other characters interacting in different spots of the story. And then it's obviously steeped in the traditions of the ancient holidays, and it reminds the audience why we celebrate Halloween and the rules that should be there. Everything in the movie is obviously very beautiful looking. I think it's a lot of fun. The costumes, the characters, the set design, and everything like that are fun looking. I really enjoyed like the way that the set and everything
Oh, for sure.
was for that.
The only thing that that was cringy to me and like the whole thing was the way the werewolves looked.
Oh,
But obviously it's like,
Actually, here's the thing.
What?
The pack of werewolves was designed by Patrick Tatopoulos, who also did the werewolves from Underworld.
those are also sort of weird to me.
So It's just, I think that's
The
just
in
his
Underworld,
design of werewolves. You are maybe not the biggest of fans.
Yeah, I do love in Underworld, like how he did the transition from human into werewolf.
Yes.
Like that was
Yes.
beautifully done.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Yes.
However, the werewolf itself, not really my favorite. They're just these were like really hairy and obviously very fake. But obviously, this is a fun movie. It's kind of silly. Obviously, still kind of spooky.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then the character of, obviously, Sam himself. It was actually kind of funny because when they were first looking for characters and they were doing the hiring process for Trick or Treat, they released the story about how Quinn's audition worked for the role of Sam and how he landed it essentially with like no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, boom, you're hired. That's it. It's done.
Wow.
It was his audition. So the quote is like, his audition blew me away. He was this weird mixture of adult sensibilities in the body of this 7-year-old kid. They loved him so much. They really wanted to give him a chance to do more during the audition. They didn't want him to walk out without having more to do. So they turned to the other casting directors and was like, what else can we get him to do? And all of a sudden, Quinn piped up and said, excuse me, do you want me to show you what I think Sam would do? And he made this face and put on this voice, crouched down and said, good kitty, pretended like he was petting a cat. Then he snatched the cat's tail, picked it up, and started dragging it away. The moment he did that, I said, that's Sam.
That's a little creeper.
That's fascinating.
That's a creeper right there.
That's fascinating.
Little boy, where did you get that imagination?
And the other thing is he did a lot of his own, like, stunt work. He really did. Like, yeah, he had a few stunts
for the harmful stuff. It was
where stunt double was
that they had, who was 4 foot 8 inches.
Yep.
Susie Stingle.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Quinn played Sam in every scene, and it's because I
love
wanted
the way he walked.
That's the whole point. They did it because they wanted it. Kids move differently than adults, with a subtle, clumsy puppy cuteness, which is why I wanted an actual kid to play Sam instead of a little person. So the reason, a kid, like they said, walks very different.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yeah. And then on top of that, all the fucking special effects stuff. Really cool shit. Because it's not CGI. That shit's legit.
That's pretty cool that it's legit.
Yeah, it's practical special effects. You don't really thank God today we're getting a little bit more in touch with the using practical in combination with CGI.
Yes.
But yeah, they were handcrafted prosthetics and makeup and brought the creatures to life.
Thing now, it's just like, what most fantastical thing can we come up with? And it usually ends up looking fake and overdone and too theatrical.
Yeah.
I like real.
Yeah. And I feel like the practical is becoming more and more used.
Yes. But yeah, apparently, obviously, Michael created the animated film, and like he did all the drawing and editing, but he gave another sketch to the artist who was coming up with this stuff. I don't know if you probably have this, but he said he wanted it to look like a fetus skull and a pumpkin merged together.
No.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I got the pumpkin and I got the skull, but I didn't think about the fetus skull thing. That's interesting.
So it's obviously gonna be shorter and more, less developed, or developed in a different way. You know? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and even for the special effects, there's I was looking up some stuff in here, and there's some gross ass shit.
What?
So, okay. So, the special effects person was Bob Comer. And they, obviously there's always this pressure for things to be, pushing the limits, more gore, more guts, more everything. Yeah. And he was like, I think the idea is to stay within the story and make whatever you do really well. I think Michael's story is very interesting. He's written it well, especially compared to a lot of the genre today, which seems to be about cutting bodies up with no humor, too cold, too flat. It's voyeurism. I think Michael's movie gets a great story and humor. And so, okay, it's going to get a little gross. So, just be aware, because I'm about to talk about vomit. and other gross, bloody things in their regards to practical fucking effects,
Go
because these
for
are
it.
practical. So there are obviously some sick moments of vomit and other things and blood. And Comer went to explain, and he was like, we had a really interesting puke break that was very challenging. They
There
wanted
was a lot of it.
Yeah, they wanted to do something akin to the Exorcist puke scene, which was done through a combination of mechanics and prosthetics. But they had neither the time nor the funding to work on something so extensive. So they had to come up with it and ended up with about they had to come up with a complicated but cheap way to doing projectile vomit. And they only had about 4 hours, and they were split up into 4 areas of their shop
Trying to figure
and
it out.
worked on it and ended up with about 50 gallons
Oh my
of
god.
brown puke all over the floor.
Disgusting.
Fake or not, it's nasty. But it was all worth it. They had 10 to 15 minutes left when they finally found the right way of doing it, and took it to set that night.
Wow.
And they shot it multiple times, so clearly, obviously, it was going to end up in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even for Emma's character, the steaming blood effect, the special effects guy Comer kept a big pot of fake blood warm all night long.
Ew.
The blood was also edible with a delicious chocolatey mint flavor.
Yummy.
And then, much like the blood used for Emma's death, the bloody chocolate vomit was completely edible and actually tasted pretty good.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, that's so gross.
Yeah.
That's
I want to
so
try it.
gross.
I want to eat it.
That's so gross. Because when you see them vomit up this shit, and when you see the blood, you're just like,
It's
when that kid
comical to me.
vomits out his guts. Ew.
It looked like chocolate milk.
well, yeah, because he just
to
ate
me.
chocolate.
Yeah, but it should have been more chunky.
More chunks. More chunks.
It was too liquidy. Like, puke doesn't look like that unless you've, like, just drank a whole bunch of chocolate milk, and then that's what you're throwing up, obviously. But,
Facts.
like, it's
Oh.
gonna be, if you've had some stuff to eat, which
Oh.
he had,
Oh,
it's gonna be chunky.
Oh.
So it was just not as believable for
that's
me.
so gross.
But I hate it when comedy films, like, add vomit. I'm like, why would you do that? It's just gross now.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's gross.
But I
Thank
don't
you.
feel like this is like
This isn't that. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it might have some like funny elements, but definitely it feels like it's like the spooky fall feel. It's a spooky fall feel.
Yeah, like it
It's-
fits with this genre.
it really
but if you're
does.
like just a comedy movie doing throw up, stop.
Yeah, stop please.
It's not funny.
Do you want to know one of the biggest challenges that they had while filming?
Hmm.
Was the weather. The actual set itself, which was built inside one of the buildings on the Lionsgate lot in
So
Vancouver.
how'd they have weather issues?
The challenges were also plentiful. Always the case when you're trying to duplicate a fall setting in the middle of winter.
Oh.
In Vancouver,
Oh.
we got hit with a massive snowstorm, so we decided to build a bunch of stuff on stage, which we were originally not planning to do.
Mm-hmm.
There was a part of the stories that took place in like the forest and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were gonna go film in the big park there that was there in Vancouver, and they were like, "Thank God we decided to build it instead," because 3 days after we started to shoot on stage, a huge windstorm came through, the biggest they ever had,
Oh my god.
that leveled every tree in the park.
What?
And they were like, that's really fate smiling down on your production, don't
No,
you
it
think?
is. It
I'm like,
is.
literally the park
real.
you were planning on filming in.
Yup.
3 days after you decide to start filming in set.
That was divine intervention.
Hell yeah. That was like, you made a good choice to go,
Mm-hmm.
don't back down.
Mm-hmm.
Film on a set. And I'm like, it still looked great. It looked absolutely
Yeah, I
great.
thought it was outside. Like, I wouldn't have said
Same.
that it was.
I would have never thought that was a set.
Yeah. Like, it
Nor
genuinely
during
just
the
looked like
winter
outside.
time.
Right.
Hell nah.
It just looks like they were outside. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that worked out really well.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yes.
I just want to talk about how jack-o'-lanterns came to be.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
it's-
history of jack-o'-lanterns?
Yes, it's
Fuck yeah.
still along with that Celtic
Yeah.
thing, because obviously, you know, history.
And one of his rules.
Yes. So apparently there were these spirits that would, haunt people.
Yeah.
And so families would light fires near their farms and their houses to protect them from the spirits.
Yeah.
So in, the 1600s, they would carve out turnips.
Oh, yes.
And then they would hang them and like put lights inside. And so that was like before pumpkin time.
Yes,
But
I remember that it didn't start with like straight up pumpkins. It was like other gourds and shit.
Yeah, so then it says that the practice of mumming began, which is putting on costumes and traveling.
I love that it's called fucking mumming.
And going from house to house and getting like baked goods. And they would sing songs and pray for the dead.
Yeah.
So,
they were like caroling, but Halloween.
Yeah.
It was caroling, but make it spooky.
Make it spooky. Oh, it's like that Dodie who does Christmas songs, but in minor keys.
Yes.
I freaking love that shit. I love it so much. It hits a spot in my brain that's just like, woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. It's like when Nightmare Before Christmas. It's very stepping into another genre.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That they would hang turnips.
Yeah.
And
to protect themselves.
From little spirits. And that's basically the same thing. Like you put out the jack-o'-lantern, Sam's gonna come for you.
Yeah. Because the whole point is you wait till after midnight because then it is the next day.
Yeah.
When it hits midnight, it is the next day. If you do it too early, your ass is gonna get haunted.
Ass is grass. And then I wanted to talk about all of Sam's victims.
Yeah.
And like why he went after them.
Go for it.
So like what rules they broke specifically.
Yes.
So obviously Emma, the first one, who he slit her throat because she wasn't giving candy to trick-or-treaters.
Yep. Number one.
It says always wear a costume.
Yep.
She took hers off.
Yep. She's
like
a
outside.
serial offender.
Yeah. And she extinguished the jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
And
the bitch
then
was like, I'm just gonna break all the rules.
Yeah, he was pissed at her. She broke the most rules.
Yeah.
Then there's the group of kids, Sarah, Chip, Macy, and Schrader. They extinguished the jack-o'-lanterns.
Yep.
And they didn't respect the dead because they used the kids to prank Rhonda. So that's not respecting the dead.
No, it is not.
That's using them.
Yep.
I didn't know this, but apparently Mr. Krieg's dog, he killed his dog. When did he do that?
Yeah.
When did he do that?
Not on camera. Not on camera. It was off camera.
That's okay. But that's just for helping Krieg not give candy to trick-or-treaters.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was scaring them off.
And he didn't have any jack-o'-lanterns to begin with, so.
Right, yeah.
Technically already breaking that rule.
Yeah, and then obviously it's Mr. Krieg for, again, the
dead.
Yeah, no, not even the dead. It's just by not giving candy to trick-or-treaters. And then later he does. He's like wearing his mummy costume. Just all his bandages. Yeah. And then giving...
But also, I don't know. I would also categorize him in the respecting the dead.
Yeah, because he
burns the photos
in the fire.
If he hadn't have done that, I don't know if the kids would have still come for him or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I think I feel like Sam raised the kids to kill off the other kids for the disrespect.
And then the kids just came and killed
Krieg because he also disrespected their memory.
Even though he started wearing a costume and started giving candy to the kids, he
still burned the photos, which was still a disrespect of the memory of
them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I thought we could go in and rank the stories.
Oh yeah.
How we liked them.
Oh, and I don't know. I put the Mr. Wilkins character in the handing out candy.
Yeah,
because
he used it. He didn't respect the dead.
Yeah,
he stomped on their bodies.
Yeah, he stomped on their bodies.
He was using
a fucking head as a jack-o'-lantern.
He was using a head as a jack-o'-lantern, with his own child.
Yeah.
What are you doing? No.
Man deserved to die at the hands of beautiful werewolf ladies.
I don't know if he deserved that because even that is a glamorous death.
He murdered several people.
What I'm saying is being killed by glamorous werewolf ladies. That sounds like a good way to go.
You think he got it too good?
He got it too good.
He got it too good.
He got it too good. He probably had a hard on the entire time he was being killed.
I wish I was straddled by sexy werewolf women.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so we have obviously the couple from the beginning.
Yes.
Where would you put that? For me, it's bottom tier.
Bottom tier, because it's not a whole lot, and it was just kind of the beginning, and it was just kind of like we didn't really get a whole story. We like saw them in a separate one when they were leaving, and then we saw them in the beginning
when
they got home.
Died. Yeah, when they were being died, when they were being killed,
when they were being died, when they were being died.
Yes. Then there's the principal. I'm gonna put this one mid tier. Mid tier. Number 3.
It's still fucked up.
Yeah.
It's still fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the werewolf party. To me, that's
like a 2
really,
or a 1.
I made that one number 4. Sorry.
Oh, the werewolf party?
Yeah.
Because for me, I would have
principal.
See, my thing is I would have put the couple at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put
principal at 4. Personally, actually, if we're going with all 5.
I'm actually gonna put I'd put principal at 5. And then I put Krieg at 4 because you get to see Sam and all that kind of shit. But he I don't know.
Wait, so couple 5, principal 4, Krieg 3?
Yeah, because
then there's still wait.
Because then it's the couple, then the principal, then Krieg, and then it's the kids, and then the werewolves.
So you'd put werewolves at top? For me, I'd say couple.
Or it would be the kids at the top.
Yeah.
I'd probably put the kids at number 1.
Kids are at the top because that was definitely the most
the
interesting.
werewolves at 2.
You got the most backstory, and I really like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say couple, werewolf party, principal, Sam, and Krieg, and then kids. The bus massacre.
So you put Krieg at 2.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, because Sam.
Yeah, that's why I put him.
Yeah.
At 3 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing we got left is these 1-star reviews, and let me just say they are funny.
Ooh, go for it. Go for it.
At least to me, I was giggling at myself when I was reading these. Yeah, the first one is, I think it's one of the dumbest movies ever. Kind of reminded me of the Geico commercial. Let's hide in the attic, no the basement, but why don't we just get in the running car? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Oh shit. I remember that commercial.
Yeah. I thought that was really funny.
That is very funny. I like that.
I mean, I like Geico commercials. So
the
honestly,
Geico Halloween commercial was good though, because the killer's just kind of standing there like, why are you right? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like you're literally
just
behind my wall of chainsaws, but like
giving into the stereotypes that people are stupid in horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next is, this movie sucks so hard I forgot it was on.
What?
Yeah. I hope the person who made this feels deep shame.
What?
That's so
mean.
That's so I'm sorry, I doubt they feel deep shame because this was a successful movie.
Yeah, it was a successful ass film. It's not like it's not an obscure horror title. It's a very fucking well-known. I go into any Halloween store and a Spirit Halloween and you're going to see Sam.
Yeah.
All over that bitch.
Yeah.
He's literally the fucking spirit of Halloween.
He is.
What are you want
the spirit of Halloween. Sorry, Jack, move over. New bitch is in town.
I know, right?
No, I'd see that more of his kid. That's his son.
Yeah. Yeah. You've seen the theories about Jack, right?
If Jack and Sally had a kid, it'd be Sam.
You saw the theories about Jack, like who Jack actually is and all that kind of stuff.
What?
That he's actually the guy from Corpse Bride.
Oh, yeah.
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 And that guy is actually the kid from Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
I love that.
But I've made a new theory.
Ooh.
That I just said it. I think because obviously underneath the burlap sack, his face is a skull.
Yeah.
It's a skull.
Facts.
And Jack is the Pumpkin King.
Yeah.
So I think if Jack and Sally had a kid,
hell yeah,
it would
burlap
be Sam.
Oh my god, yes,
burlap,
it'd be perfect.
If this is their
wearing
child.
the burlap, the pat.
Yep.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yup.
That is their kid.
This is their child.
Facts.
Their absolute child.
They would be so proud of him.
No, they would.
They'd be so proud of him.
They really would. So really, move over Jack. Let your son take the throne.
Yeah, exactly.
Is really what it is.
Exactly. When your son grows up, he'll be the new Pumpkin King.
Yeah,
it'll be great.
Next, I made an IMDb account because of this movie and how much it has negatively impacted the trajectory of my life.
What?
This movie affected you that hard?
How did it? What? What?
It fucked with the entire trajectory of your life?
Like a movie can traumatize you. I know that for certain. I have movie-based trauma.
Yeah.
But changing the whole trajectory of your life is a little dramatic, my dude.
Especially if it's like sort of a horror comedy.
Yeah, it was
like-
just like a cute fall film about like spooky. It was literally like spooky stories to tell in the dark,
Yeah.
or like, you know,
but like a little better. personally.
Yeah.
So
like
yeah. Yeah. This
confusing.
next one I thought was fitting because of, you know, obviously things we talked about
Yeah.
just now. If my eyes could vomit, they would. I
What?
bet they would. That's what they said.
That's just a weird
That's
visual
what
to
I'm
try
saying.
and see.
Like that visual, I'm okay. I'm really good. I just
No, thank you.
no.
No, thank you.
Just no. And this last one, obviously, the movie came out in 2007. This review itself specifically was 2011, I think.
Okay.
So I think it's funny that they've said this, and it said, to coin a phrase from today's mobile/text era,
Oof.
WTF.
Oh. Oh. That whole message just fucking sent my body into a state of cringe.
Because
To
everybody,
quote our text,
to coin a phrase,
from our text savvy people.
WTF.
WTF. What? Can you not? Can you just delete yourself? Can you not? This is insane.
I mean, this came out in 2011, like this comment specifically.
Ooh.
So the fact that today in everyday life people use what the fuck,
No.
you don't. I do.
I just
All the
wait,
time.
What? I use what the fuck all the time.
Yeah, WTF. Use
Yeah,
it all the
WTF
time.
all the time. All the effing time.
So the fact that WTF was like so new to this person that they had to say that
In 2011, in
like 12 years ago. And
how
then
the
they,
fuck are they so unaware? I know
don't
for a
know.
damn fact that I was younger than that and knew what WTF
yeah,
was.
I was 9. So we were using
What?
WTF like way before then.
Hell yeah.
Like when there were buttons on phones.
Facts.
Yeah.
When there were buttons on phones.
When there were buttons on
Girl.
like actual buttons. And they flipped and they slid up.
Oof.
And you like did the flip thing.
Oof. I had one of those.
I know you
I
did.
had buttons.
I know you
used to
did.
have fucking buttons.
I would use my
I
Nana's
used to
phone.
have the buttons where you had to press it multiple times to get to a certain letter.
Yup. Texting was hard.
I was so happy when I got the phone that had like a keyboard and I could just fucking go to town.
Yup.
God damn.
And then they continue.
Yep.
And they
Yes.
say, it was just silly. Silly, I tell you. A childlike killer that in the opening scene struggles to drag a corpse even a few feet, yet somehow summons the power to lift the victim and impale her on a stake that is over 3 times the height of evil pumpkin dwarf's body.
He's a pumpkin kid. Also, silly, I tell you, silly. Are you fucking for real here? Are you for real? Are you a real person?
This is the same person who just said to coin the phrase.
I'm sorry. You're gonna reference the time you're in, but also like be all back in the day.
Yup.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Are you for real? Are you a real person?
Yep.
Because at this point, I don't know.
Maybe they've changed. It's been 12 years. Who knows?
I don't know, but that's wild.
Yeah,
That is wild.
Those were all so funny to me. I was sitting here like, hee hee
Silly, I tell you,
Silly.
silly.
That is all of the 1-star reviews.
Why?
Silly.
Like, why?
I don't know, man. But yeah.
He's a mythological being.
Yeah, of course. Like,
It can do whatever the fuck he wants.
whatever he wants.
Like, for real.
We just listed all the powers
Exactly.
he has. Struggles to drag a corpse. Maybe it was just for the effect, okay?
Yeah. It was to show that he's still like a kid. I mean, he's like, come on.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's all we got on Mr. Sam Hain.
Yeah.
Um,
And Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
So our next episode is just going to be a chill chit chat session 5. So that should be, all good in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Let us what you think about like Halloween and trick or treat and all that kind of stuff. And what's your favorite fall films, like spooky fall films?
Or what are you planning on doing for Halloween?
Exactly. This is a couple days before Halloween. Let us know about your costumes. We are excited to know.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Horror Unmasked. Listen to us, Spotify, iTunes, Horror Unmasked Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Horror Unmasked Podcasts. Rate, comment, subscribe, like our stuff. Boost us in the algorithms. Or
Sam Hain will come for you.
exactly.
It's actually another rule that he added. If you don't follow us,
He will come for you.
that's his fifth rule.
Yes, his fifth secret rule
Yeah,
that only we knew about.
yeah,
Because he came to us directly and was like, hey guys,
he did.
I need you to know that I had to add a fifth rule
Mm-hmm.
because you are so awesome.
Yeah, and our podcast is so awesome.
Facts.
And we would always follow the rules.
Always.
So
I think with that,
there's only one thing left to ask. Will you trick?
or will you treat?